Good evening, church. Tonight's reading is taken from Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 to 14. Some time later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." "Here I am," he replied. Then God said, "Take your son, your only son, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about." Early the next morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. He took with him 2 of his servants and his son Isaac. When he had cut enough wood for the burnt offering, he set out for the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey, while I and the boy go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the 2 of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, "Father?" "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and the wood are here," Isaac said, "but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham answered, "God himself will provide a lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the 2 of them went on together. When they reached the place God had told him about, Abraham built an altar there and arranged the wood on it. He bound his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham." "Here I am," he replied. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," he said. "Do not do anything to him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Isn't this amazing? Great faith by Abraham. The Lord had called Abraham some years back. He said to him, "Leave your country, your people, your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." The Lord said to him, "I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great." Abraham obeyed. He left his land of the Chaldees, which is somewhere in modern day Iraq, I think, and went with his wife Sarah to the land that the Lord will show him. And he was faithful. And just as the Lord had promised, he blessed Abraham. Abraham was a very wealthy man, and the Lord prospered him greatly. Now, the Lord also said to Abraham, he appeared to him at the age of 99 and said to make him the father of many nations. God made a covenant with Abraham. He said no longer will he be called Abraham, because at the time he was called Abram, but he changed his name to Abraham. And he will become the father of many nations. And the Lord said he will also bless Sarah. She will be the mother of many nations. And this looked rather strange at the time, actually, because Abraham was 99 years old and Sarah was beyond the childbearing age. But God was faithful. A year later, when Sarah was 90, she gave birth, and they named the baby Isaac, just as God had said. Again, he was faithful. Now, I guess before all that happened, Abraham and Sarah probably wondered, how was God going to fulfill this promise of making him the father of many nations? However, when Isaac was born, they could see the promise that yes, the faithful God who promised had delivered. He had delivered and given them Isaac. And through Isaac, the promise will be fulfilled. And so we come to this chapter when God tested Abraham. And he said, take your son, your only son Isaac, and offer him to me as a burnt offering. What did Abraham do? What was Abraham's response? He took Isaac. The Lord had asked him to do it. He was going to obey God. And as we read, when Isaac asked him, Isaac spoke up. This verse 7 said, Father, yes, my son, Abraham replied. The fire and the wood are here, Isaac said. But where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham had faith. He knew that the Lord will provide. And that was his response to his son. God himself will provide. God knew how much Abraham loved his son, because for Abraham to become the father of many nations, he had to be prepared to give up his most precious possession. And without question, Isaac was his most precious possession. But he was prepared to do just that. The Bible tells us that Abraham prepared the altar, and just at the point where he was to strike, an angel appeared and said, do not lay hand on Isaac. God had another plan. He said, for now I know that you fear God, and you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And not just that. The angel said to Abraham, look at the thicket there. And behold, lo and behold, there was a ram. And the Lord provided a ram, which Abraham then used as the sacrifice. Abraham was ready. Abraham was prepared to pay the ultimate sacrifice. That raises a question, really, for us, for me and for you. The question is, what are we prepared to give up for God? What is that thing, what is that possession that is so precious to us? And if the Lord calls, and if the Lord asks us to sacrifice it, to give it up, are you prepared? Are you prepared as Abraham was? This is also quite striking in another respect. it conjures to me the image of Jesus. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life. To my mind, Isaac here is like the lamb that was slain, and God giving us Jesus, his only Son, to take our place and pay the price for sin. Friends, this is what the Lord is challenging us to do today. It's a tall order. It's a tough call. But the question is, what are you prepared to give up for him? What does God I ask myself this question. What does God want me to let go that I'm tempted to hold on to? What does God want me to hold on to that I am tempted to let go? What does God want you to let go? And are you prepared to let go of it today? I believe that God wants to do something in our lives, in your life and mine, that is truly lasting. He wants to do something in us, not just something for us. When he does things for us, these are temporary. They are good things, they are lovely things, and we rejoice. But they are temporary. But he also wants to do more than that. He wants to do something in us. And when he does something inside us, it is eternal. It lasts forever. And my challenge to you, brothers and sisters, friends, today is, are you willing for God to change you? Are you willing to make that sacrifice so that God does what he wants to fulfill in you? Not just something for you. That's the challenge. We often sing that song which says, "You give and take away, but my heart will choose to say, blessed be your name." You give and take away, but my heart will choose to say, blessed be your name. It was Job who said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." And yet we knew that Job went through huge trials and tribulation, but he remained faithful. How do you respond to this message tonight? Will you choose to trust? And I challenge you. My challenge is, let's be like Job. Put your trust in the living God. The Bible tells us that he is the creator of the universe. He is the mighty God. He is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. When Moses asked him what his name was, he said, "I am who I am." He is the great deliverer. When Daniel was in the lion's den, He was in there and shut the mouth of the lion. He is able to deliver. And that's the God that we serve. He was the God that provided at the point of need and made a way for Abraham. My challenge to you, brothers and sisters, is to trust in the living God. God bless you. Thank you.